All right, we're reading Little Legends, The Great Troll Rescue by Tom Percival, and we are now on Chapter 4, Together Again. Red ran along the path, calling out to her friends. It wasn't long before she heard an answering shout. "Red!" yelled Jack. "Are you okay? We've been looking everywhere for you." "Thank goodness you're back," said Rapunzel. Anansi swung down from the treetops on a rope made of spider silk. He pulled Red into a tight hug. "It's okay," he yelled up to the tree. "She's safe." Red looked up into the canopy where a horde of spiders nodded at Anansi, then scuttled away. "Can you speak to any spiders anywhere?" she asked. "Pretty much," said Anansi. "Apart from Spanish ones. I've never gotten the hang of Spanish. Anyway, my mom will be waiting. Red, are you all right to keep going?" "Of course I am," said Red. "I only fell down a cliff." They ran on up to the path until they stopped at a deep chasm with a couple of frayed ropes dangling from it. The edge of the forest was just on the other side. "Oh no," exclaimed Anansi. "The bridge is down." "It fell down?" "It fell away. And on this side you'll have to stay," chanted a high-pitched voice. "I cut the bridge down with my knife, and that fall now could cost you your life." Ugh, Rapunzel groaned. "Oh no, it's Rumpelstiltskin." "What?" squawked Betsy. "Seriously," said Jack. "That guy's so annoying. Your quest will now end here in vain if you cannot guess my name. I'll weave a bridge made out of gold, but first my name has to be told." The owner of the voice leapt out from behind a rock, cackling gleefully. Rapunzel glared at the bearded little man. "Your name is Rumpelstiltskin," she said crossly. "We all know your name. Everybody knows your name. It's pretty hard to forget. Can you just get on with it and weave that bridge? We're in a bit of a hurry." "It was worth a try," muttered Rumpelstiltskin as he pulled out a portable spinning wheel. "Can you pass me some straw?" Rapunzel sighed as she gathered up hay from a pile by the side of the path, which the small man spun into a gleaming rope. Finally, the golden bridge was complete. Rapunzel, Jack, and Anansi ran across without a backwards glance, but Red slowed down as she passed Rumpelstiltskin. "Maybe you could think about changing your name," she suggested, "or coming up with a new riddle." Then, with a wave, she ran up to catch up with her friends. "There, up ahead," shouted Anansi, pointing to where the path had left the forest and joined a wide road at the bottom of the mountains. Peering out from behind a large rock was an even larger figure, a troll. "Mom!" yelled Anansi. Cautiously, his mother came out from behind the rock, a broad smile on her face. Nobody noticed the thick net dangling from the ledge on the mountain above. Suddenly, the net tumbled down, knocking Anansi's mother off her feet. She roared in anger, but before she had time to get free, the net was pulled shut, trapping her. "Over there!" shouted Jack, pointing to a winch being wound in a burly man by a burly man wearing a huntsman's leather cap. "We need to cut that rope," yelled Anansi, but before he could get close, the huntsman heaved the troll into a cage on the back of his horse-drawn wagon. "Mom!" yelled Anansi as the huntsman's horses started to gallop away. "Mom!" "It's not your fault, Red," said Anansi, for at least the 12th time. "There's no way you could have known that would happen." "You said it yourself just this morning." "I'm too trusting," replied Red. "I told that huntsman what we were doing here, and now your mama's gone, and it's all my fault." She gritted her teeth and tried not to cry. They were standing at a crossroads, the hoof prints and a wagon tracks that vanished, and they had no idea which way to go next. Rapunzel, Jack, and Anansi were trying to make Red feel better, while Betsy was pecking and scratching at the forest floor. "Come on, Betsy," said Jack. "This is no time for eating." "What?" squawked Betsy angrily. "What do you mean you're not eating?" "What?" squawked Betsy. "Well," Jack said in surprise, "I didn't know you could track people. Can heads even smell?" "What?" Betsy rolled her eyes. "Well, it's just that you don't even have a nose." "What?" shrieked Betsy, sounding very cross. Okay, replied Jack, holding his hands up defensively. "You have an excellent sense of smell, and beaks are way better than noses. Happy now?" Suddenly, Betsy stood completely still. She scratched at the floor one last time, then shot off, like a feathery arrow. "Come on," yelled Jack as he sprinted after her. "Betsy has found something." The sun hung low in the sky when the forest suddenly ended and they arrived at a lock gate set into a tall stone wall. Carved skulls and gargoyles peered down at them, and a sign warned people to keep out or else. Underneath the smaller letters it said, "Guard dragons patrol this site." Red glanced at her friends nervously. "Oh, come on," said Rapunzel. "People write that sort of thing all the time. It's never actually true. Now, how do we..." Everyone was looking at Rapunzel. She stared blankly back at them for a moment before she understood. "You want to climb over the wall using my hair?" Jack looked at her and shrugged. "Well, if you don't mind. I had to ask, didn't I?" Rapunzel muttered as she unwound her hair from its long braids. The golden strands waved and curled as if they had a life of their own. She threw her hair up, and it whipped around one of the scary-looking gargoyles, tying itself into a neat little bow. One by one, they all climbed up Rapunzel's hair and waited for her to come to the top of the wall. "You owe me 3 bottles of conditioner," Rapunzel complained as she pulled herself up and her hair magically tied itself. Nobody replied. They were all staring silently ahead. On the other side of the wall, nothing was alive. The trees were twisted and dead, and the ground was bare, dry earth. A gleaming road led toward a huge castle in the distance. Rapunzel looked at the road more closely, realizing it was made of bones. From inside the castle walls, they could hear the unmistakable roar of a dragon. "Oh," Rapunzel said quietly, "I guess the sign was serious."